Thousands of Kenyan commuters have been stranded and businesses paralyzed as public transport operators went on a nationwide strike to protest against recent increases in the cost of fuel. Key roads in the capital Nairobi remained largely empty, forcing some commuters to walk to work, with other parts of the country also affected by the transport crisis. Businesses in parts of Nairobi remained shut and schools asked students to stay at home.
Pro-Palestinian activists say Israeli forces are intercepting a flotilla aid for Gaza in international waters west of Cyprus. The global Sumud flotilla, GSF, said its fleet was being boarded in what it called an illegal act of piracy, about 250 nautical miles, 460 kilometres, from Gaza, which is under an Israeli maritime blockade. Its video stream showed armed commandos climbing onto several boats.
The United States military's Africa Command, AFRICOM, says it has carried out additional airstrikes against ISIS, fighters in northeastern Nigeria, in coordination with the Nigerian government. The additional kinetic strikes happened on Sunday. AFRICOM said in a statement on Monday, adding that no US or Nigerian forces were harmed during the strikes.
A cruise ship hit by a deadly hantavirus outbreak has docked in the Netherlands for disinfection. The MV Hondius was carrying 25 crew members and 2 medical personnel as it reached the Dutch port of Rotterdam on Monday, after all the passengers disembarked at other locations. According to the ship operator Oceanwide Expeditions, no one on board is experiencing any symptoms.
The main route of the Rawalpindi Ring Road is likely to be opened for traffic by mid-June, with officials saying around 85% of work on the corridor has already been completed. According to project details, construction on the 38 6-kilometre route has reached an advanced stage and includes progress on key interchanges at Banff, Chakbeli Khan Road, Adiala and Chakri. Authorities have finalised detailed arrangements to ensure cleanliness, manage cattle markets and maintain uninterrupted civic services during Eid al-Adha. The decisions were made during a meeting chaired by Regional Municipal Officer Sajjad Haider and Director General of the Capital Metropolitan Government Kadir Nasir.
Senior gastroenterologists have warned that around half of adult Pakistanis may be suffering from fatty liver disease because of obesity, junk food consumption, sedentary lifestyles and physical inactivity. Speaking at the 8th annual conference of the Pakistan GI and Liver Disease Society, experts said the disease has reached epidemic levels in the country and is now increasingly affecting children. American season affecting children and lean individuals as well. The Federal Shariat Court, FSC, on Monday restored Section 325 of the Pakistan Penal Code PPC 1860, effectively recriminalising suicide attempts in Pakistan. In its ruling, the court declared the criminal laws, Amendment Act 2022, un-Islamic and struck down the legal amendment that had removed punishment for attempted suicide.
PC1, worth as $4.8 billion for the Thalian interchange of the Rawalpindi Ring Road project, has been approved by the relevant authority. The interchange is part of the wider Rawalpindi Ring Road scheme, whose overall cost, including the Thalian component, is estimated at $51.4 billion. Islamabad. Jamaat-e-Islami GMF Hafiz Naim Rahman on Monday approached the Federal Constitutional Court, FCC, against the petroleum levy, arguing that the government had effectively granted itself unrestricted power to tax citizens through executive notifications without parliamentary oversight. The government had announced a petroleum and carbon levy on June 14, 2025, under an ironclad commitment with the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Last month, the government had cut the levy by Rs 80 cents amid the global oil crisis triggered by the Middle East crisis.
Israeli forces were intercepting a Gaza-bound aid flotilla on Monday after it set sail from Turkey last week, with organisers saying one of the vessels was stopped west of Cyprus. Military vessels are currently intercepting our fleet And IDF forces are currently boarding the first of our boats in broad daylight. The global Sumud flotilla posted on X.
PPP stalwart and former Senate Chairman Raza Rabbani on Monday said that there was no need for a 28th constitutional amendment, saying that the Constitution could not bear the burden if it were to happen. In a statement, he said, "The ruling elite should realise that the Constitution 1973 cannot bear the burden of another amendment. There is no need for the 28th constitutional amendment."
When the wheels of Air Force One lifted up from Beijing on Friday, US President Trump was wrapping a three-day visit with many questions still outstanding about what exactly he and Chinese leader Xi Jinping had agreed to. Over the weekend, statements from both sides have started to demystify the outcomes of a meeting that was largely about resetting the tone between the world's top economies. A fractious stride after a fractious year that drove both to the edge of decoupling.
Israeli forces have begun intercepting vessels from a Gaza-bound aid flotilla, according to organisers and video footage from onboard the boats. 250 miles from Gaza in international waters, Israel is preparing to attack the global Sumud flotilla. Organisers said in a statement shared on social media on Monday, shortly before the interceptions began.
For decades, the Kamal Maula Mosque in Dar in central India's Madhya Pradesh state has been like a second home for 78-year-old Mohammad Rafiq. Rafiq has been the muezzin who calls Muslims to prayer at the mosque for 50 years. Before him, his grandfather Hafiz Naziruddin used to lead the prayers even before India gained independence from British colonial rule in 1947.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have gone on the road and played Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semi-finals like they'd been there before. That's because they had, and the experience paid off.
Brazilian forward Neymar has stirred up a storm with his recent on-field behaviour and comments as he looks to make a comeback to the national squad for the FIFA World Cup 2026. The 34-year-old has not represented his country since October 2023 and is in a race against time to prove his fitness before the tournament squad submission deadline.
Israel built 2 covert military outposts in Iraq's western desert in advance of the US-Israel war on Iran. The New York Times has reported, the Daily reported on Sunday, that Iraqi officials had identified 2 covert Israeli-operated bases in Iraq's western desert, citing an Iraqi official and a lawmaker. It said Israeli forces had been preparing to build one of the makeshift sites since late regional official, citing a regional official.
Karachi is set to witness the construction of Pakistan's tallest skyscraper after DHA City Karachi and ABS developers finalized an agreement for the development of Burj Quaid, an 82-story high-rise project planned within DHA City. The tower is expected to rise 941 feet into the skyline, making it the tallest building in the country once completed. The project will span nearly 6 acres and is expected to be completed within 6 years. Despite being considered Pakistan's educational hub, Punjab still has millions of children out of school, highlighting serious challenges in the province's education sector, according to government and international reports. Poverty, inflation, shortage of teachers, lack of basic facilities, and financial hardships faced by parents remain the main barriers to children's education.
The Directorate General of Immigration and Passports is preparing to launch a home delivery service for passports across Pakistan as part of its wider push to modernise public services. Director General Muhammad Ali Randhawa said the new facility will allow applicants to receive their passports at their doorstep after paying a nominal courier fee. The Directorate General of Immigration and Passports is set to introduce an AI-based chatbot to help applicants with passport-related information and services. Director General Muhammad Ali Randhawa said the chatbot will provide guidance on passport procedure steps. Applicants will also be able to use it to check the status of our passport. afters to check the status of their passports after submission.
Pakistan hockey captain Ahmad Butt has shared an update on the national team's preparations for the upcoming third and fourth phases of the FIH Pro League. Speaking during a media interaction, Ahmad said the training camp is progressing well, with all available players fully involved in preparations for the upcoming European assignments.
On a remote island in the Andaman Sea, bulldozers are tearing into pristine forests that are home to one of Earth's most isolated people. Part of India's ambition for a $9 billion megaport, airport and city designed to rival China's investments around the Indian Ocean, New Delhi's colossal project will be built on Great Nicobar Island, a site offering a naval presence far closer to Southeast Asia than India's mainland.
A Wall Street banker's explosive sexual harassment lawsuit against a female executive has triggered a torrent of salacious falsehoods muddying the waters, with AI-created deepfakes and memes fueling the frenzy. The social media storm erupted soon after the suit, packed with allegations of sexual abuse, coercion and racial harassment, was filed last month in a New York court by a former JP Morgan in a New York banker identified by US media as 35-year-old Shirayu Rana.
Sanam Said walked the red carpet in Cannes on Friday in custom-made Hussein Rehar, and everyone loved it. The ensemble was inspired by white peacocks, with her outfit incorporating Mukesh and Zardozi embroidery with mirrorwork, making Said shimmer in camera flashes like the star she is.
United States President Donald Trump has warned Iran that the clock is ticking to clinch a deal to end the war, as reports have emerged that Washington and Israel might be planning to carry out airstrikes on Iranian energy infrastructure. For Iran, the clock is ticking and they better get moving fast or there won't be anything left of them. Trump wrote on his Truth Social platform, "Time is of the essence."
Drone strikes by Mali's army have killed at least 10 civilians as they prepared to celebrate a wedding in the central region of San, in another escalation of the conflict since armed groups launched a widespread coordinated assault late last month. Strikes on Sunday occurred during a security crisis after attacks on the military government's positions last month by fighters from the al-Qaeda-linked Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslim, JNM, and Tuareg separatists known as the Azawad Liberation Front, FLA.
Construction of bus stop sheds for Rawalpindi's expanding electric bus network is expected to finish within a week, paving the way for the launch of e-bus services at Marka Ihak Square, previously known as Kutchery Chowk. According to district administration officials, 6 bus bays are being developed in front of Fatima Jinnah Women University, the district court's main gate, Marka Ihak Monument, the police monument on Old Airport Road, the State Bank of Pakistan on the Mall, and Gymkhana on Rashid Minas Road.
Lenovo has launched the ThinkPad P14's Gen 7, updating its compact 14-inch workstation with AMD's latest Ryzen AI Pro processors, expanded memory options and an OLED display option with a 120Hz variable refresh rate. The laptop offers RAM options as high as a whopping 96GB.